What is up, everybody? Bootman here, and we're back with another Deadlock video. And in this video, since so many of you beautiful people are now joining the closed playtest, I wanted to go over a tier list to help you kind of get an idea of who you should practice playing to get good at. All right, but before we jump into this, if you're new here, hi, my name's Chris. I also go by Bootman, and I have been playing so much Deadlock. Last time I checked, I had like over 70 hours in the game just in the past couple weeks. So if you want to get better at this game, make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell. And in case you missed it, check out my last video. It was a beginner's guide for Deadlock. I go over a lot of the things that I wish I knew before I started playing the game. So make sure you check out that last video, all right? So anyways, here are all the heroes as of right now, all the different characters, and we're gonna do a little tier list. This right here is Shiv. Shiv was recently added since I started playing in the last 2 weeks. So we got Shiv in the tier list as well. All right, so let's jump into this thing. All right, so as I do this tier list, first off, keep in mind every single tier list ever created is subjective, all right? So I'm gonna go through this as like, from the perspective of the scariest people. Like when somebody is playing these characters at the top level, that's how I'm rating these, all right? Like I am still pretty new to this game. People have been playing for months. I've been playing for a couple weeks. I've played most of the characters, all right? So I'm gonna let you know who is like top tier based on what I have seen from top tier players. All right, so first up, let's start with Abrams. Abrams is a little detective, all right? So Abrams, let me tell you something. When somebody is good with Abrams, run away, run away. It was something where I just recently learned that I'm just like, you know what? If there's a good Abrams on the other team, I'm getting an item to just disable him. That's what I'm doing. That's like the only thing that will work is that I'm gonna disable him. Okay. So Abrams is very good. He does a lot of like melee damage. He does like a lot of lifesteal stuff. He's very tanky, just very good player, all right? So also, like, keep in mind, I'm going over heroes that I think like, hey, if you just want to know the best heroes to like kind of get better at, go for it. But make sure you subscribe because I will be doing a video on like best beginner-friendly heroes. So these little green icons, these little thumbs up are like quote-unquote beginner-friendly ones, but I don't think all of them are beginner-friendly. For example, Abrams is marked as beginner-friendly. I don't think he's beginner-friendly. All right, so let's go next to Bebop. Now, a good Bebop, like a really good Bebop, like this floats between A and B tier, all right? But I'm gonna put my boy Bebop in B tier, okay? So like Bebop, he's very good. Like he has like a hook, he has a bomb that can be very annoying early on, and his ultimate does an insane amount of damage. I have played against a couple really scary Bebops. He's really good if he can hit his hooks and he's with somebody else who's really good on their lane. But I think I'm gonna put him around B tier because it's very rare that you'll see like a Bebop just like carry a team. And I'm not just gonna rate people high who are gonna get a ton of kills because like there's also some really good support characters in this game. So Dynamo 2, I think I'm gonna put Dynamo B tier. Dynamo is a support character, so his ultimate is a stun. It like sucks everybody in, and it does massive CC. He has like he has a heal, and he has another ability that does some damage. Very short range though. I'm not a fan of that, but I'll say B. No, I'll keep him B. I'll keep him B tier. Okay, so Great Talent. Great Talon. So Great Talon, he is DPS, and I'm thinking Great Talon. I think I'm gonna put Great Talon here. So Great Talon is a little arrow shooter. All right. So he shoots a bunch of arrows. He can fly up in the air, super high. Excellent, good. Just does a lot of damage, and so if your aim is on point, like Great Talon is a top tier character. So let's move on to Haze. So Haze, definitely a beginner-friendly one. I'm gonna put Haze. I'm gonna put Haze B tier. I'm gonna put Hayes B tier. Hayes is kind of a carry DPS. Her ultimate scales very, very well. If you can get the right items on Hayes, like she will just carry you through the late game. She has an invis, so she can sneak up. Her ult is basically like a Reaper ult. So like she could do a ton of damage, but it's just like there are so many people who are just bad with Hayes. So like it's very rare that you just see a Hayes where you're like, this Hayes is a problem. There are Hazes that could be a problem, but like if there's a Hayes on the other team, and even if it's like the best Hayes I've ever played against, it's very rarely that I'm treating that Hayes like an Abrams. You know what I mean? Like I can kind of build some defenses up. So Infernus is another like DPS machine, but I'm gonna put Infernus like C tier. It feels like, I feel like I just haven't seen like just like an amazing Infernus. Infernus is a good character. Like I think Infernus is great. I just have never seen a really good one. I need to play a little bit more Infernus. But yeah, he has like he lights you on fire. So it can start like ticking you down and scaling, and then like he has like a dash move. It's not really a dash, it's like a speed run where he lights everything on fire in the path. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't see really many good Infernuses. So maybe he does need a buff, but like he feels like he should be like a really good character. But yeah, we'll put him down as C. So Ivy is the first hero that I got really good with. I just focused on Ivy for a while. They recently changed Ivy's ult. I personally don't know if I like it more. Like maybe it gives you a little bit more escape. But Ivy, we'll put Ivy B tier. All right, Ivy can kind of, Ivy's a little bit more of support. All right, like Ivy has a slow and like very, very tanky, but depending on how you build Ivy too, Ivy can kind of not like really carry, but Ivy can switch and like start doing some damage. A lot of the builds are like slow builds and stuff like that. So Kelvin is my new dude. Kelvin is my dude. So just fun story. I've seen some decent Kelvins, all right? Kelvin's like support. Seen some decent Kelvins. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna figure out how to play Kelvin. And like, I just sucked. I sucked so bad. I watched some top players play who are high MMR. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give Kelvin another try. And like, I finally kind of figured him out, all right? Kelvin, I'm gonna put up here as an A tier. I think Kelvin is one of the best supports in the game. The build that I've been using is very like heal focused, but it also focuses on his third ability, which is like this ice ray, and you build it up so it has like a super long reach and the cooldown super slow. It's just really good. So you can slow people for your team. He also has like this ice dome for his ultimate, which heals him at a crazy amount, as well as any teammates inside. Just like a really, really solid support character. Lady Geist, I'm gonna be nice. I don't know. Let me look at the list. I'll put Lady Geist C tier. People can be decent with Lady Geist. She has this grenade that is like super annoying early game, but it kind of falls off a little bit later. But her ultimate, if any of you played Dota, it's kind of like Sunder. You swap health. So like Lady Geist can kind of be a pain, but if you just like do a ton of burst damage, you can often take her out before she can even like swap health with you. I have run into some decent Lady Geist, but it is very, very, very rare. And even when they're decent, they're not like super scary. All right, so next, Lash. I'm putting Lash up here. So Lash is definitely what I'll say is like one of the hardest characters to get down. All right, I played Lash like once or twice, and I'm like, I do not understand how these abilities work. But Lash, similar to Abrams, you can tell early game, you're like, okay, this Lash knows what they're doing and we have to watch out. Because Lash he has some CC and he can throw you back into his team, and he just has like insane mobility too. So he can get in and out just doing a ton of damage, but he is one of the harder characters to master. But if you can master this character, you will be a force to be reckoned with. But anyways, like I said too, very hard to master. So if you're in a game, here's a little pro tip. If you're in a game and you realize this Lash doesn't know what they're doing, go eat them up. Just feed. All right? So my buddy is probably gonna hate me for this because he's like, a McGinnis main, kinda, but I'll put McGinnis B tier. Now, I will say there's two characters. When my buddy goes off with McGinnis, I'd say McGinnis is A tier. McGinnis is great. She's kind of support, but with the right build, she can just take people out. Like my buddy, he'll get 20 kills in a game when his McGinnis is on. McGinnis also has this wall that she puts up so she can like lock people in with you. So when they're trying to run away, she puts up the wall, they're stuck there, and then your team just takes them out. But I'm gonna say B tier. Just yeah, like she can scale and get pretty decent, but she can't really like carry a team on her back. She does have a heal, so she's like kind of support, but we'll keep her at B tier. Mo and Krill, I played Mo and Krill for the first time today. Didn't hate them, but we have to put some people D tier. Yeah, you gotta put some people D tier. Mo and Krill, I would say I think Mo and Krill might be the worst in the game. Something I realized playing Mo and Krill today. Very good early and mid game once you kind of figure out the abilities, but late game you're almost useless. This is a character where you have to like get right in the middle of it, and you don't have enough heals, and you're not tanky enough. It's like the opposite of Abrams. Like Abrams has to get in there too, but you have enough like health and healing to like stay in the fight. Mo and Krill, I was just melting instantly. And again, like I've never seen like a Mo and Krill where I'm like, oh my God, like we need to run away from this person. Paradox is DPS, but Paradox is going to be C tier. Paradox, like they're at like a DPS. It's a very weird character. It's a very weird design. Paradox is DPS, and a lot of the builds are for damage, but she's also built like kind of like a support. Like you could put up this wall that kind of like slows bullets to do less damage. And the ultimate swaps positions with somebody on the enemy team. So you can buy items that can kind of blink you away, but like Paradox is very squishy. So if you're like swapping somebody, like if it's a whole team fight and you swap somebody on their team with you, like you're gonna be right in the middle of their whole team. So you can get an item to blink out, but I don't know. It's risky. Like I said, this character, the design is just kind of confused. I wish that they kind of just went like either full support or full DPS, but it's kind of like in the middle, but not in a great way. Like if you've watched any of my Marvel Rivals content, I talk about how one of the things I love about Marvel Rivals is that the supports can easily like transition into DPS. Like you're not just, oh my God, I'm not doing any damage, all I can do is support. But like Paradox, it's just way too in between, and just, it doesn't really fulfill either one fully. I've never run into like a crazy Paradox. So Pocket can get very scary. I ran into one Pocket, where I was like, you know, Pocket is definitely S tier. But the more I've played against Pocket, the more I played Pocket, I'm gonna put B tier, like kind of low B tier. Pocket is almost here. Pocket is another character that's kind of got to get in there, but Pocket can do just a lot of spirit damage, a lot of ability damage. And the scary Pocket that I faced was just because he has like a teleport, would just come in, do a ton of damage, and teleport out, and like it was nuts. But most Pockets that I've seen are very mid, and the good Pocket that I faced was also very early when I started playing. So like, I don't even know if that Pocket would have done as well against us if I faced him again. So yeah. Next up is 7. You're gonna see 7 in just like 90% of the games you play, maybe 95% of the games you play. I wouldn't say S tier. I'm gonna say A tier. Now, Pocket's ult is so busted that I legitimately went to the Deadlock forums and I'm like, what were you guys thinking with this ultimate? All right, so if people leave 7 alone and 7 like gets early kills, like just don't feed a 7. Never feed a 7, all right? The ultimate is insane. It's like, you know how like most abilities kind of have like a balance to them where it's like, okay, it does like a lot of damage, but it doesn't last that long. Or, you know, it covers a huge radius, but it doesn't do that much damage. Well, all of that goes out of the window with 7. 7's ultimate covers a huge radius, okay? It does an insane amount of damage, all right? The duration is extremely long. Like, it is just a mess. We have a buddy that we play with where basically when they play 7, they just build for late game, and like, even if we're losing, he's just like a security system for your house. Like, once people come in, 7 just jumps up in the air, and basically the ultimate covers like 50 to 60% of your base, and their whole team has to leave, or 7 will just kill them all. Like, the ultimate is ridiculous. There are some like CC moves that you could and items that you could do to take down 7 in their ult, but yeah, I'll say A tier. Not super crazy. Not too nuts. Vindicta's definitely C tier. Vindicta is definitely one of the characters that a lot of new players pick up. Vindicta's pretty popular. She's a sniper, but like, I think she's better than Talon, because one of the things is like, both these two characters are the only two that can really get up in the air and kind of sit there. But like, Talon has a faster rate of fire and just like a little bit more you could do. They're built very similarly, but like, Vindicta just is not as good. I think Talon, because he could shoot like a charge shot and like a few arrows at a time and stuff like that, but Vindicta is basically a sniper, and like, when she goes up in the air and she's flying around, like, you could just pick her off and you're not too worried. Her ultimate is almost like an op in Counter-Strike. You have like 3 bullets, I think, and you could scope in, does a ton of damage. But yeah, a lot of people aren't good enough to play Vindicta. Next up is Warden. I'm gonna say Warden is, man, you know what? People might disagree with me. Warden, I might disagree with me. Warden is A+, low S tier, all right? Some people might say like Warden goes down here or whatever. Warden is A+ S tier. I'm gonna put Warden up in S tier, okay? Warden is a very scary character, and he's very easy to pick up too. Like, if you've played it, like, for me, I played up against a lot of Wardens. The second I started playing Warden, like, I had a really good game, right? Like, just very early on. Very simple to use. He has a great stun that locks people in. His ultimate does a ton of damage, does lifesteal. Also, like, he can remove debuffs too, so when I'm playing Kelvin and I try to freeze ray this guy, it doesn't do squat to him. Like, Warden is just a really, really, really good character. And his base damage for his gun is nuts too. So next up, we have Wraith. Wraith, my buddy who plays McGinnis might be mad at this too. Wraith is gonna go C tier as well. Now, my buddy, kind of like what I said with McGinnis, when my buddy goes off with Wraith, A tier. But overall, like, I haven't run into too many scary Wraiths. My buddy can be scary when he plays Wraith and gets built correctly and just starts feeding on people. But yeah, Wraith, I have yet to play her, but from playing a ton with my friend who plays Wraith a lot, it seems like she like flanks a lot. She has to get in kind of close, and she doesn't have a ton of health, but she can do an insane amount of damage when you build her. All right. Now, listen very carefully for me when I talk about Yamato. All right. Yamato, I'm going to put Yamato down on D tier, but this is eventually going to change. Okay. The only reason I'm not putting Yamato higher is because I only started running into good Yamatos. Yamato is completely different than everybody else. She's a little bit more melee focused. Her ultimate is pretty strong. She goes invulnerable, so she's unkillable. But yeah, because of her melee and she's squishy, like, unlike, like Abrams, who's like tanky, like, she's just a very difficult person to play. So like Lash, so I would say Yamato and Lash are the two hardest characters to play. Yamato is similar to Lash, but like, if like I had to go up against like the best Lash or the best Yamato, I'd rather go up against the best Yamato. The reason I'm putting Yamato here is only the last couple days I've run into good Yamatos. I think a lot of people are practicing with her, figuring her out, and Yamato can get pretty scary, but for the last 2 weeks, aside from the last 24 to 48 hours, when I see a Yamato, I'm like, oh, I'm eating. I'm gonna feed off this Yamato just so much. And also, like, her ultimate, even though it's strong, all you have to do is just stop attacking her for a minute. Just wait, save your ability, save your ammo. Her ult just goes away, and then you just frag her. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna put her D. Might be controversial, but I can easily see her over time as people get used to her going up to like A tier, possibly S, if more people figure out how to play her. Shiv is the newest character, and like I'll say Shiv's A tier. They nerfed, dude, Shiv was so strong that they had to nerf Shiv the day he came out. Like the day he came out, I played a ton of Shiv and he was just, oh, so strong. They hit him with so many nerfs, and like Shiv is still very, very scary. Just a very scary character, all right? His ultimate ability, basically, if the, it's almost like Axe in Dota. If the person is below a certain health threshold, he one-shots them. And like the range on it is crazy. I don't know if they're gonna nerf it because like right now, the way it stands, you can ult them and you'll like go around corners. Like as long as like you lock on them, if they run around the corner out of line of sight, Shiv will just like go with them and just like, it's like a magnet. But when you get to his final tier of his ultimate, it automatically refreshes for every kill that you get. And then his dash ability does a ton of damage. So you'll just be in there and just messing people up. Very, very good. I can see an argument for Shiv being B tier. He's probably low A, high B, but I'm gonna put him A tier. He's an easy character to pick up. If you see a Shiv in your game, most likely they're gonna be kind of a pain in the butt to deal with. Viscous, we'll toss him B tier. We'll toss B tier for Viscous. Viscous is just very annoying. Just super annoying. All right, he has like a thing called Puddle Punch, and you get like multiple charges. He has just things to like heal himself and just be really tanky and annoying. I've run into a few good Viscuses, but like he's more of a support. He's not gonna carry a lot, but like he's like pretty mid. He's very annoying at best, but like I don't know, like he's just very mid. B is the perfect score for Viscous. All right, but anyways, these are all the characters so far as of right now. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed that tier list. I hope it helps you out. But also, like I said, I will be doing like a beginner's guide tier list, all right? So I'm gonna scrap this whole list and be like, hey, if you're a beginner, here's who you should play first. I'm gonna rank them from like easy to medium to hard. Again, I don't really agree with all of these like green thumb symbols on these characters. So make sure you subscribe, ring that notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming Deadlock content. And make sure you follow me on Twitter at BootmanMSTZ. It's linked down in the description below. I will be tweeting about Deadlock with updates, new content, and everything. And I'm thinking about doing a giveaway for some invites for people who want to get in. So make sure you follow me on Twitter, all right? But anyways, thanks so much for watching. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.